accidentally discovered my wife's explicit photos with another man, so I ended it between us.
It's time to throw that phone in the water.
I, 34 male, met my wife, 32 female, 7 years ago at a party. He was the out of your league girl no one hit on, and I was the awkward boy in the corner trying not to stare.
25 and 28.
By the way, this comes from Red Carpet Blues. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit.
That is not their ages.
25 and 27. That's how old they were when they met.
Eventually, she was introduced to me by the host. We bonded over a shared love of darts, went on a few dozen platonic outings together, and after one drink and darts-filled night a year later, we wound up in her bed in a relationship. A year later, she proposed to me. She's the power person in our relationship. I am working as a chocolatier. She's a vice president in a large corporation. She works long days and longer nights. I cook and keep the house clean and work 5 days a week in a small artisanal shop downtown. We're pretty high end, so I am making good money, but she's making way more than twice my salary. So she buys the toys for the house, including a new set-top box for the TV. The set-top box has a screensaver mode where it rotates pictures in your Apple photo library. Oh no, I see you. Last week, she was still at work. I came home for my day and the TV, which I've used to watch a YouTube video that morning and definitely had turned off, was on screensaver. On it were pictures that must come from her phone showing her in our living room, one of her female friends, and a guy I've never met in very explicit photos.
Party of 3.
On the TV. The pictures move around the room. So I think there must have been a fourth person taking pictures with her phone.
That's crazy.
But I didn't see that person. This is
Dude,
ouch.
my gut hurts.
This is ouch. What was weird was that she was wearing a bandage on her hand, something she'd done that morning after complaining about RSI. I left the TV on and was very shocked, but decided to leave the screensaver and see what she had to say when she came home later that evening. When she came home, the pictures seemed to have disappeared. They haven't shown up anymore since then on the TV. Dude, you should have been like, proof. Freaking saw them.
Yeah.
I asked her if she'd been home during the day because the TV was on. And she said she'd come home during lunch to pick up a USB stick she'd forgotten in her computer at home.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Okay.
I tried to ask her about the pictures, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Now, I have to add something. I am not a very experienced person in spicy sleep matters. I am an introvert and barely had relationships before her. Our spicy sleep life is, though, even for my experiences, very vanilla. I never had oral spicy sleep in my life before, and only twice since we met. Suggesting it to her usually meant that she'd lecture me about not doing those things. And spicy sleep for the night was a no-go. In those pictures, she did all the things she never wanted to do with me.
Dude, no.
Since that day, I have tried to confront her a number of times. She stays out longer lately, not just since last week, for the past 4 months maybe, and she's often too tired for anything romantic, even just cuddling.
She wants to be in someone else's arms.
Yeah,
She wants to be in more than just one person's arms.
She wants multiple arms. But even during the time we had together, like this weekend, I can't bring myself to confront her. I am worried about what I might hear and what this would mean for our relationship. I mean, it means you have to break up. I still love her very much and can't imagine a life without her. How can I summon the courage to do this? Is there a way out of this? The only way out is through. There is an update. So lots to tell. First off, however, a few things. Before I wrote this, I didn't know what a red pill was. Now I do. I kind of wish I didn't, but a few dozen messages kind of made that happen. You know those debt solution letters you get when you're known to the country to owe money? That's how those things came in, fast and furious. Some others assumed that my throwaway having the word red in it meant that I was a sock puppet for them. I am not. I don't think they've got a solution that isn't worse than the problem it pretends to fix. What? Well, what happened? I left the house that evening for a walk. She wasn't home. And called around for lawyers. It was pretty late already, and I got a lot of voicemails, but no one picked up. She asked me to get my financial statement and a lot of other things together and see her the next morning. I then decided to confront my wife that evening. That didn't happen. She came home very late and disappeared to take a bath almost right away. I snuck into her office and took her phone out from her purse. It had a fingerprint scanner, but her PIN was the same as she uses for the garage and our safe, which she set up, so that was easy. There was nothing on the phone that I could find. Pictures in Apple Photos and Google Photos were all from things we'd done together and some for her job. No messages or so either. Just as I wanted to put the phone back, her bag buzzed. She had another phone. Of course she did. Of course she did.
I called.
That one is an Android and had a pattern, so I couldn't log in. But on the screen was a message. Phone number only, no name, with a heart on it. Put that back, decided to postpone confrontation until after the lawyer, but took a photo of the message. Next morning, I talked to the lawyer, and she spent about half an hour to just go over possible outcomes and what I can expect next. Then another 45 minutes talking about finances and so. We don't have kids, and she's the big earner, so I stand to either be just out of the relationship or be out and owed some money. It'll be months, maybe even more than a year, until all of this is dealt with. Takes 5 minutes to marry, a year to unmarry, it seems. I'd walked by my work and told boss, and I was sick. I looked like crap from not sleeping and some crying, so that was pretty convincing. We work in food. Being sick is a bad idea at that job. Went home and unplugged the Apple TV and took it also to a friend who runs a small computer store.
Ooh.
He confirmed what you'd told me. The pictures on the screensaver are from her Apple Photos. He's also the first I told, and he immediately offered me to stay at his place with his wife and kids if I had to leave for a while. What a nice man. Then he called the number the text on my wife's other phone came from and told me a guy named Rob had answered it. Walked home and texted her if she'd be home for dinner. She texted back that she'd have to do some extra work and it could be late. So I told her to please make an exception and come home. I had important news. We'd been looking for a house for a while. I figured she'd think I finally found one. Well, dinner came and went, and she didn't show. She came home around 10, smelling of cigs. She was all happy and asked me what I wanted to talk about, so I asked her to sit down. I'm 99% to making something up about a house and avoid the confrontation, but then I guess for the first time, I felt a little anger. So I told her. I said, I know you've been cheating for a while now. I've been working with an attorney and we'll have to talk about these things at some point, so now is a bad time for that as ever. She didn't blow up and deny it. She just deflated and started to shake. A lot of your messages, my attorney and my friends all told me not to press for details and not put that on me as well, but I really wanted to know. So I said, tell me about Rob. She told me they'd met through Anne, the friend on the couch with her, and Anne wanted to have spicy sleep with him while he had a crush on my wife. So they hatched the ménage à trois plan. That was 14 months ago.
Oh.
Apparently, they've since included Rob's wife, that's the mysterious fourth person who took the pictures, who is polyamorous with that Rob guy. The picture thing was solved, too. She handed the wife her phone to take a few pictures and didn't remember the whole screen blanker thing. When she was at work, she uploaded them and deleted them from her phone. By then, by chance, I'd seen them. She had the second phone for precisely the reasons I thought, as one that isn't on our shared contract where I couldn't see the incoming and outgoing calls in my statements. She also had short affairs with other women and few men, and most of her weekend work things were actually her and Rob going on short trips together. Through all of this, it felt like she was giving me as much detail as she could in an effort to hurt me, and it worked, but I think I kept a pretty good poker face. She's a demon.
Dude.
She's a demon.
A chocolatier. Someone that understands the human taste buds, and you're just hitting them with a relationship bat over the head over and over.
Like, why?
With their tongue
Why
out.
are you being...
And then you're destroying their taste buds too.
I just don't understand people, man.
Dude, like why? Why cheat on someone and then
Twist the knife. By the way, I think it's pretty good when you guys listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. I told her that I would leave the house, that I had photographed and cataloged everything, and was hoping for an amicable separation. She simply declined, told me she'd leave and take a hotel for the time being, and put her keys on the table. She packed a few things and left. That was it. As this one guy says, it was like the dentist. It hurt less than I thought it would, but still hurt dang much. Today, I have about 15 missed calls from her and 150 plus messages, all asking me for forgiveness and if we could make it work again. I agreed to meet her next week, but only to divide our possessions. As far as I'm concerned, this is over. Except for my one friend, no one knows yet. And I want to wait with making it public knowledge while I sort my stuff here and decide how I go from here. Might actually be hitting the gym, no intentions for a rebound relationship, and the rest We'll see.
Krista.
And that is the end of that story.